Welcome guys, thank you so much for joining in. So if you look at the price action of Bitcoin right now here in a daily time frame, you can see the price of Bitcoin did got a really nice bounce off this lower line area of this falling wedge, because I talked about this scenario on my yesterday video. Also said this here was the only one bullish scenario I could see right now playing out for Bitcoin, and this is also exactly what the price of Bitcoin is doing, finding support at the lower line area, because I said very loud and clear that the price of Bitcoin yesterday could see a potential bounce of the 28-29 and also 31-32 range here could be on the line, and this is exactly where we are. And also the price here is trying to break out of this very important resistance line, because if this resistance line, the upper line area of this falling wedge, is going to get broken, which previously has acted as a very strong line of resistance, right? Then this central line is where I will be focusing the price of Bitcoin at least to test if we break out of this upper line area of this falling wedge, and that is sitting around 35,500 35,400 area. The reason why I'm actually showing you this price target for now is a very important line to hold is because you can see here guys, I have actually talked about this CPI indicator plenty of time in my videos, and this CPI indicator is actually a leading indicator, not like this Bollinger Band or this moving averages. Those are all lagging indicator that provides us information only after the trend has started. But with the help of this leading indicator, we can see what the price of Bitcoin is flashing before the moves actually happens. Because you can see here, if you monitor the CPI indicator, this green line here to the upside are the first monthly resistance line, also looked as a target when the trend is heading to the upside, and this red line here to the downside is the monthly support line. And if you look at this purple line or this pink line here in the central, is known as the top CPI. This is the central CPI and this is the bottom CPI. So that's why whenever you see the price here starting a new trend or this new market phase, you will always see this monthly CPI for each and every month forming this ascending CPI. I mean price here finding support at the CPI line and continuous journey here to the upside. But when you see this CPI line starting to make descending CPI, then we have to be careful, because that is a sign the strength here is weakening and the price here could see potential downward price movement. And if you look at this in our case right now, you can see this was a very nice ascending CPI and the price was also heading to the upside. And after this May month, you can see the CPI started to form this descending CPI, and in descending CPI, the CPI is not going to act as a support but as a strong line of resistance. Every time when the price tested this area, you can see the line which previously acted as a support when the trend was heading here in an upper direction acted as a resistance. And now you can see this is also clearly showing the price here is still weakening unless the CPI starts to form a new ascending CPI. So if we look in our case, what I'm actually trying to tell you with this CPI indicator for this July month, guys, this is a very narrow CPI indicating we should be expecting some volatility entering in this month, because according to the CPI, you can see this is a very narrow CPI. Narrow CPI means the volatility is going to be there. Wider CPI indicates it's going to be more of a range bound type of scenario. So according to this CPI right now, the price here is clearly getting a strong rejection from this CPI line and it's not acting as a support. But if the price of Bitcoin does manages to take over this resistance line and find support over it, which is also a very important line of resistance that is exactly sitting around 35,200. So that's why we said if we can regain the strength above this 35,000 here also, right, then the price of Bitcoin could actually see a really nice impulsive move playing out. Because according to that, if the price is going to find support above the CPI line and also stay above it right until the month ends, then the next CPI line could be above the previous one, which is also going to indicate now this was a descending CPI and we could be starting a new ascending CPI, but only after we find a proper support above this 35,000 price range. So that's why guys, unless the price is not finding a proper support above the 35,000, we should not be overexcited, because the bulls could fail holding the price of 30,000 again, and price could also start heading here to the downside, because this is more of a lower highs lower lows continuation pattern type of scenario. And also this CPR lines are a descending CPR. So that's why guys, that's why we have to be careful even if this daily candle is turning very bullish at this current stage. And also if you look at this in a weekly time frame, yesterday we said right now, since the price of Bitcoin was breaking below this 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level, that was a very important line of support which the price of Bitcoin followed since 2011. Because if you look at this impulsive movement and corrective movement, the price of Bitcoin only started this new trend here to the downside, or this downward trend, after reaching the top of the channel. So unless the price was not reaching the top of the channel, we always saw this small pullback, price finding support at this 0.618 here as well, you can see, and then a new move here to the upside. And this similar scenario unfolded again and again. Correction, right? Price came at the top of the channel, only then we started this new downward price movement. So that's why when the price of Bitcoin was below this 30,000 yesterday, we were saying, hey, this support here is rejecting the price and we have to be careful. But now, since the price has already regained this trend, because right now price is around 31,500, this here is BLX chart which is still showing us this 29,700, but we know the price here has now again found support above this 30,000 price range. So if the 30,000 support is going to be there, right, bulls defending this 30,000 range, and also price finding proper support above this 35,000 CPR line, that could be indicating the next CPR line is going to be ascending CPR, and in ascending CPR the price is going to see a new movement here in an upper direction. So that's why guys, until the price of Bitcoin is not going to break above the 35,000 to 35,500 and find support above it, we still have to be very careful, because we are aware in a weekly time frame the price here is still, right, is still below this 50 weekly moving average, and this 50 weekly moving average is a very important line of support and also a line of resistance since the price is below it. Because in the past Bitcoin price action failing to find support at this 50 weekly moving average, you can see here, right, resulted to a massive price pullback, bringing us all the way towards this 200 weekly moving average. This similar scenario unfolded again and again. When the price failed to find support at this 50 weekly moving average, we started this new downtrend, not just only here, also here in 2014. You can see here, right, we failed to find support, we saw this pullback bringing us towards the 200 moving average. So since the price here right now is still below this 50 weekly moving average, this 50 weekly moving average is sitting around $32,270 for now. So if the price of Bitcoin does regains its strength over this 32,000, then that is also a sign that we could be potentially heading towards this 35,000 range. But staying below this 32,000 range is still a very dangerous sign, because losing this grip of 31,000 one more time, then that could actually result to a bigger pullback, right? Bigger pullback that could bring the price clearly below this monthly S1 line, and this monthly S1 line is sitting around $28,790. So let's see how the price of Bitcoin is going to play. So unless the important line of resistance here, right, from this falling wedge and also this central line around 35,000 is not going to turn as a support, we are still very skeptical, because the whole market scenario is still bearish. Because not just only the price action, just like I said to you yesterday, the indicators, the RSI line you can see here is still flashing this bearish price momentum. MACD is still a bearish MACD cross, and also this TSI 2 strength indicator bearish under control after this crossover, you can see that very clearly. And also this awesome oscillator is in negative territory. So this is also showing us that the indicators are also very weak. So that's why guys, that's why the price action in a weekly time frame and also these indicators are still very weak. So we have to be very careful at this stage. So let's see how the price of Bitcoin is going to do. So if this is going to get broken, then 35,000 is where we'll be looking at in the short term trade. And to the downside, again, this 30,000 is going to be one very important line of support to hold for Bitcoin. So these are some of the scenarios I thought sharing with you in today's episode. If you enjoyed my work, then please guys, please hit the like button, and also for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye guys.